Okay, guys. Zuby, our technical director, is not available for the podcast tonight, so this is going to be all me at the helm.
You got it.
Yeah, this might be ugly. Hello, folks, and welcome to Got Your Back YEG post-game edition. Following up on the Edmonton Oilers' 5-2 loss at the hands of the New Jersey Devils. 13 straight wins? Are you kidding me? What does that feel like for a team? Man, oh man, the Devils are playing some kind of great hockey right now, and they've victimized the Oilers twice in that 13-game winning streak. Got Your Back, we'll remind you, brought to you by our good friends over at Mr. Dirk, just off White Avenue and 102nd Street. Mr. Dirk is your one-stop shop for all your clothing needs, and I mean absolutely all of them. Whatever you need, they've got it for you. You need suits? They have fantastic sharp suits. Struddy can tell you all about that. You need casual clothes, more Terry Ryan style? Well, they've got that too. Just off 102nd Street, go see Sterling or Dan or any one of the great crew over there, and they will help you get yourself outfitted. You can up your clothing game. It just feels good to throw on some new threads, and Mr. Dirk is the place to go to get that done. As we say good evening to the fellas, we have video with Struds. TR is on the telephone. How we doing, fellas? Struddy, how's things, my man?
Good, buddy. Good. Really good. How about you guys? TR?
Oh, I'm doing mighty fine. I'm curious, when you said when you want to dress more like TR, what did you mean? I try to make myself a man of very, very many looks. I try to be diverse.
You are. I will admit, though, TR, one of the looks that I don't often see from you is just a straight-up suit. Like the classic jacket. Like, you'll go dress jacket, but you'll often do it more like with a jeans look. It's
true.
Or you'll do it with like a t-shirt or something underneath. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a slight in any way. I just mean not very often you're fully done up though, right?
I didn't take it as one. I was curious, and now I have my answer, and it kind of makes sense. I like that look. Hence, I wear that look.
Yeah, it works for you. Why change it, hey?
True enough.
Well, we're looking at the picture of you in the jean jacket. That's the picture I have up of you right now. The pensive look off to you, looking to your left, gazing out into the world.
Yes, and the photographer happened to be there.
Yeah,
one of those. Yeah, I was just sitting back, trying to enjoy a nice day downtown St. John's, literally shooting the breeze. And then someone happened to be there that looks like a professional camera. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah,
that's so coincidental. And then somehow got the picture to you. Available for your social media platforms. You use it once or twice a year on your socials. That just all fell into place nice for you, pal.
It is amazing how often that happens lately, yeah? But you never know. Right place, right time.
Hey, by the way, I jumped on TikTok just recently here. TR, you're pretty active on TikTok, aren't you, TR? Or are you all Instagram?
It's funny, like right when TikTok was starting, my daughter and I used to go on there and post some videos for fun and stuff. No one knew what I was talking about. It was called something else. I can't remember, but it ended up, I just went over to Instagram, and, for everything I do, I'm more on there than anything. And everybody tells me I should go to TikTok. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not on TikTok. I have no idea. It's a lot of stuff to keep up with.
Yeah, there are some things about TikTok that I think you would like. There's a creative element to it that I'm kind of discovering. You can actually piece together some pretty interesting little videos right from the app itself without having to do a whole bunch of, outside editing. So that
gives me anxiety.
Oh, does it? That stresses you? I mean, I see the videos you put together. You put together some pretty decent videos on your social.
I do. I know how to work the Instagram, but more, and what I'm doing, I don't need it to be really, because I know what my head's like. You ever hear the story of Brian Wilson and Pet Sounds, and he went in the studio and just drove himself mad because of all the possibilities? I don't want more. That's the way my head works. I like to just say, here I am, keep you updated with my podcast, what I'm doing, book, whatever it is, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever it is. But when you start adding like effects and slow down and play backwards and everything, to me, it becomes like a mad genius in the studio that you just can't get enough of. You know, not that I'm a genius. I try to be, and yeah, it doesn't work. But you know, I might go on there for the traffic, if nothing else. Everybody says that, you know, why am I making reels when I could be making TikToks? But you tell me.
Yeah, Struddy, you keep it pretty simple. You're basically just a Twitter guy. No Instagram in your world.
I have a difference. So I don't put stuff on Instagram that I put on Twitter and vice versa, right? And I put stuff on Facebook. But yeah, like I don't update, hey, my day's going good on Twitter. I don't think that, or put a, you know, I try to put different things on different ones. Kind of.
You try and provoke Maple Leaf fans on Twitter is primarily what you're doing. That's
right. I just try to annoy people on Twitter, and I enjoy that. And I like that the back and forth when people attack me.
Struts. Yeah, Struts, something happened. I remember a year and a half, 2 years ago, watching you with your family doing a dance in some room. I don't know where that was. What platform?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Was that TikTok?
Yeah, at the beginning, no, it was on Instagram. As soon as the COVID came down, I found this lady that would give you dance instructions for full dance. She was out of Australia. So we joined on there. We were doing the full-on dances. It was actually pretty good. I got to, not to toot my own horn, but kids could dance.
Shona's pretty active on there. Like she's more the driver of that type of content, right?
Yeah,
she's got with her. You want to plug her company while we're on here?
Well, yeah, she's for Yo Mama Maternity, a local maternity wear store here. But when we did that stuff, it was more to fill time. We had so much time to kill, right?
Yeah.
And there was 5 of us just looking at each other, and we all love. I mean, I'm not a good dancer, but whatever. The ladies seemed to like it when I hit the dance floor, so we were putting a little bit on. Put it on Instagram.
Well, it's better than listening to you sing.
Ayo.
Heyo. Unlike TR, who, I don't have the sound clip available. I can't believe I haven't brought that sound clip out again, the Johnny B. Good soundtrack from that night.
I can sing. Shogger can play the guitar. You got one, don't you? And Strud's on percussion. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, just eye candy in the background.
You want to sing a few bars for us here, TR, or you gotta be in the mood?
I gotta be in the mood. Tonight I can lull you to sleep. It's my lullaby voice.
Yeah, you do. You got the dulcet, deep bass tones going tonight, hey?
Oh, it's the perfect mixture of my nighttime favorites. Take a guess. There you go.
Okay, enough of this gibberish. We have a hockey game to talk about. So let's get to the breakdown, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. We'll remind you they supply some of the nicest maintenance-free decking and fencing products that are available out there. If you've always had that wood fence in your backyard and it's getting a little sketchy, a little dicey, or that wood deck and it's time for a change, give some thought to going maintenance-free with DLR Vinyl. No more sanding, staining, no more worrying about the upkeep. It'll look amazing the day it goes in, and it'll stay that way for decades. Call my brother Rick here in Edmonton or Rob out in Calgary. That's DLR Vinyl Products. Okay, quite a bit to go over here. 13 straight wins for the New Jersey Devils. The Oilers were going to have to play, Struddy, a certain quality of game to have a chance to get past this team. And while they showed flashes of it, not nearly enough of it, coupled with some mistakes in net. But what's your main sort of headline in this one?
Yeah, I think that the goalie was one part of it, but I don't think it was the whole story. I really think that the Oilers' defense were a little bit intimidated by the speed that was brought on by the Devils. A couple of goals, very soft, soft gaps. And so what happens, you back up onto your goalie and guys are walking in from the ladies season, just crushing it. Then we saw, another D-man try to make a play to try to get something going. Boom, turnover and comes back the other way. So I think that and obviously I think that starts up the ice. The forwards get up further. The D-men have more comfort, get up. But I really thought we saw the Oilers D kind of play a soft gap today. And TR, that really plays the advantage of the offensive players.
Yeah, I thought the Oilers, they gave their impulses of energy sporadically. It seemed that the Devils were just ready to hop over any mistake. They're on that 12 game winning streak now. They seemed honed in and just ready to pounce on a mistake. And the Oilers seemed to be to be not engaged for big parts of the game. And when you do that and you play a high flying team that's more high flying right now than you are, you lose by 3 or 4.
Yeah, and penalties have been an issue for this team, Struddy, and I'm not suggesting that it was the case again tonight, but man, those offensive zone penalties, they can really sting you, hey, and you got Clem Costin, in the offensive zone, it was a stick penalty or a holding penalty, and then the penalty kill just got, they got exposed immediately by a team that is scoring power play goals almost every game right now.
It was, and what's it's that's often his own penalty. It's obviously, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But when you look at the way that first goal was scored, there was probably not a Oiler around him for 8 feet in any direction. He could have swung a cat by the tail and not hit any but net any Oilers, right? So and that, I believe that was off the rush, and so that's a really tough thing. You want to try to stand up and try to protect that slot area, right? Make it harder for them to score. But he was wide open. Was that Brad or Heischer? Can't remember now, but either way,
Bratt in the slot
Brad,
there. He just kind of slowed up and hit the soft spot,
100%, and the Oilers didn't recognize it, right? And you got to try to stand up, like, as a defenseman, as the rush is coming, you got to try to stand up as much as you can, so you just take away time and space. And when you play it soft, I mean, those guys are going to kill it from there, and Skinner's just sitting there like a dead duck.
If you play the Oilers, they're going to possibly take some bad penalties, and they're going to turn it over, and probably some pizzas. And that's what happened. I just think you can't do that against those teams. I never would think I would say it about New Jersey. I think anybody who saw this coming would probably be, said that, would probably be lying to you. But, you just can't do it. And it seems like their most consistent trait is turnovers and bad penalties. But on top of that, guys, I don't know what the stats are, but the Oilers give up it's good to have shorthanded goals and people that are fast out there killing penalties, but it seems to me that the other team gets a lot of rushes on the power play, and that's not good, because you end up, an odd man rush is one thing, but on the power play leads to some great shots, and it happened again.
Yeah, they push pretty hard for offense, and at times, Struddy, it can get just a touch sloppy, and they end up chasing back into their own end.
Well, I think you have to just look at where your penalty kill is at. It's really struggling this year. Now, I think it's been a little bit better of recent times. I think Janmark's maybe helped that out. But when you're struggling, just focus on defense first. Let's just get the puck, ice it down, one guy up the ice, one guy up high, and try to angle him to the side. And the thing I always appreciated when I was a D-man was not having their forwards hit the line with speed. And when they hit with speed, you just back up. You're like, okay, here they come. You're backing up. And it makes it really hard. So I think that, just those basic things, get those done, and then look for the offense on the other side.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. Jay Woodcroft breaking down the night for his team, and just a night where the point you made, TR, just far too many mistakes against a really good team. Here's Woodcroft.
There's just some individual errors in our game tonight, and against a team like that's playing at that level right now, you can't do that and expect to outscore mistakes.
Let's go to the fourth goal here, talking about individual mistakes. Struds, I mean, you were the D-man. TR, you were the forward. You hit the line with the puck, and you just go straight to the net. You beeline there, and good things are going to happen. Struds, what was the mistake there from Tyson Barrie? We'll hear from Woodcroft in a second on it, but just maybe not quite enough attention to the man, looking for the puck kind of thing as it was being bobbled around.
Yeah, that was which one? That was the one that was knocked out of the air.
Knocked it out of the air, right?
Yeah.
Skinner made the first save, and then he just kind of left there to swing away.
Yeah. So on that case, if you look at it, there's not one Oilers defenseman in front of the net, right? So Tyson Barrie, the guy who is in front of him, I believe it was Tatar that crossed in front of him, right to the net, and Tyson didn't react. And then Darnell kind of takes his guy, then instead of stopping in front, he swings into the corner with this guy. So it's just a little bit of softness, right? And not soft as far as running some guy over, but just not being hard in that front net area. A nice play by Tatar, but that goal, he was all by himself. You look at the first goal, we talked about Bratt's goal, those two goals, and then the exchange with Skinner's mistake. 3 goals, guys are by themselves in front. If you want to pile into that area rather than unlock it there. So yeah, it was just one of those nights where I really think the speed of the Devils intimidated the Oilers and pushed them back, and then pushed the D-man back, and they played it too easy.
TR, what do you make of the Oilers in terms of their net front and their ability to kind of, make life tough a little bit for opponents in front there, to Struddy's point?
Yeah, on one hand, you give credit to Tatar, going to the net like that. Not everybody does it, and good things happen, obviously. But I mean, it's math, it's physics. Just go there. These guys too on Jersey, give them credit. They're fast, but they do go to those holes. But it seems to me that happens a lot with the Oilers. Am I analyzing it? Am I overanalyzing it too much? I don't know. But to me, guys, we're watching all the games. It seems to me there's a lot of free passes down there. And as a forward, oh man, I just right from warm up, I'd look over in the other end, and if you see like 4 or 5 guys, 6'3", 6'4", that's one thing. But if you can't get to the front of the net, that's another. And you know, to me, it's the National Hockey League, and it shouldn't be easy to get there. I don't care what era we're playing in. And not only does it seem easy, these guys are wide open. It couldn't be any easier. There's nobody on them. It's one thing if you're not being played tough enough, but if there's literally nobody around you and the puck comes there, who do you think's going to score?
Yeah, back to the Weiss Johnson sound box. Here's Jay Woodcroft on that goal.
If they do get the blue line and shoot the puck, they got to get touched. They can't just have a free lane to tap in a rebound. That's one of those individual mistakes that we have to clean up.
Exactly what you were saying, Struddy. You got to make life tough. If they want to put the puck on net and go towards your goaltender, like they need to get through some sticks or some elbows, or you know, you got to tie them up, or just be a little bit more proactive in being physical in a territory that you're supposed to be able to win that territory battle.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to first, you just got to be there, right? You got to physically be in the right spots. And then, you know, and I think earlier in this year, we saw the Oilers be in the right spots, but maybe not tying up sticks or pushing guys out of the way. But tonight we saw a situation where they were just literally not in the right spot. And you know, you can call it an off night, we can call it whatever you want, but that's the reality. You've got to be in the right spot first and then make a play in the right spot. And they were just too easy tonight. But again, honestly, guys, I'll keep saying, I honestly think they're intimidated by the speed. 4 lines deep of pure speed coming at you. And then the forward's going to back off. You're going to back off too.
What did you see speed-wise, TR?
Oh, yeah. I love it. See, the Devils, you have an idea in your mind, right? It's almost embedded in there from the era that we came through and that fans are just realizing is over, because the Devils don't play anything like that. They're fast and they take advantage of that room. I think Strud said it the best. You know, maybe you're not gonna get all guys in front of the net like Brendan Witt or Chris Chelios anymore, or even Jason Strudwick. But you got to run some interference, and the first step is being in the right position. That combined with a team that's so very fast and can get to that hole real quick, I think it's exposed a lot. Probably, you know, if there's one team that you don't want to play that way against and give up, and you know, maybe give up some position right now, it's a team that's that fast, that's that good, that's on this much of a heater.
You guys ever get on anything close to this for a heater? Like TR, huh? You played on some decent teams there, like 13
honestly,
in a row.
I'll tell you the honest truth. The honest truth. We would always run into Kamloops. We had a bunch of streaks, but we'd always run into them. That's the honest truth. I'm not just trying to pump your guys' tires, but that era was pretty tough. It was good for getting noticed in the draft and stuff, because a lot of people came to our games, but from like winning anything at all, even like, you know, around in the playoffs, was difficult.
You'd run into Jason Strudwick and his net front presence.
I don't know what specifically it might have been, because if you look at the stats again, it seems to me that I seem to flourish.
Here we go.
Well, I mean, that's
what are
a fact.
Those stats, TR?
We could give opinions. We could be subjective, or we could be. Well, I know that I led the playoffs in scoring that year, and we didn't make the final.
Yeah,
I know.
So me and Lang tied with 27 each.
Right, but I think I played against the first line usually, so I don't know. I probably would have seen you.
Well,
too
you
much
think, but I know what I'm saying is fact. First line, yeah, we were out there half the game. What I'm saying is fact. You might have your opinions and go, I think this and I think that, and that might have happened or this might have happened. But I'm saying, look at Hockey DB. Look at the stats.
Rooting it in statistics. That's good. Okay, play nice here, boys. We're going to go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. We're going to hear from Stuart Skinner. First, though, we remind you, hey, a 45th year anniversary for Weiss Johnson. Love it. Great local company. And for the next 3 months, they're going to be giving away and installing a new furnace or hot water tank to a community organization or a charity that is in need. So if you know of a community organization or a charity that could use a new furnace or hot water tank, send them an email at info@weiss-johnson.com. That's info@weiss-johnson.com. Now, when people evaluate Stu Skinner's night, they're going to talk about the bobbled puck. And yes, that one was not great, You guys probably picked up on it too, but I noticed another mistake that he made where he basically just tripped and fell on one of their goals, and that was the one that was bugging him after the game.
Stuff like that does happen, which it will. You just got to bounce back and, move on. And the tough one for me was probably the third one, kind of a little trip, and gave them a two-goal lead, which is you never want to do.
You trip coming across the crease on that 3-on-2?
A little bit, yeah. I tried to grab an edge and just lost it. I fell and I just couldn't reach for it, and that one stinks just because it gives them 3-1 lead, right? So, but it's all right. You learn from it and move
Pretty
on.
solid play recently from Stuart Skinner, but TR, bit of a blip for him here tonight, bit of a learning night.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed that too. No, I don't think they brought it up on TV from where I was watching, but I noticed that too. And, it's a bad time for that to happen. He's a young kid. It happened to Kulak a few times this year backing up. It's just one of those things that could happen in beer league. It just happened. He was trying to make the right play, easy goal on a bit difficult of a night. But, I still have all the confidence in the world in this guy.
Yeah, I think listen, I'm not going to put this on his shoulders. Yes, that one goal is directly a result to him, but I mean, goalies are going to have those situations. It was sometimes you just feel like I think goalies just get, they're trying to do too much. Maybe he sees where the game's going. He's trying to do too much. So either way, I think we're probably going to see Campbell next game. Assuming he's okay after taking that off the horn, or taking a puck off the horn. But it's it's. Yeah, I don't really think this isn't a goalie night. I don't think, and I don't think you're trying to make that out to be that. But I don't see this as a goalie night. I see this as a player's challenge.
Yeah, but I'm not, by bringing him up, I'm not blaming the goalie. But we evaluate everybody, and I think it's fair game to evaluate his overall game. And my analysis of his overall game is couple of little errors that he's going to have to learn from. Puck handling for him is going to be interesting. He had the bobble in the third, I think it was in the third period as well. Another bad bobble there. So that's definitely something, as competition ratchets up, you want to be confident in handling and moving that puck around. All right, I'll open it up. What else, Struds? We'll start with you. What else stood out to you tonight? Good, bad, indifferent, ugly, whatever.
Well, let's give praise to a guy that I think have been critical of, or a lot of people have been criticizing, and that's Puljujarvi. Both goals, he's right in front of the net, right? And I think he got an assist on the second one. But the first one, he kind of knocks down Smith. There's a battle in front, and then the puck ends up going off of Draisaitl's stick, off of Smith's stick into the net. The second one, he's right in front of the goalie again. And that's really, to me, that's how he's going to contribute right now, is he's going to get to the net, create space for other guys. Nuge comes in and taps that easy one on the second goal when it kind of bounces all over him. But I like that. I like when he drives the net. I know as a defenseman, it's hard, and there's a big body in there, and he's kind of crashing around and he's getting in the way. And now there's pucks coming. You're trying to figure out what he's doing, what everyone else is doing, and allows the quicker guys to get in there. So really like that from him tonight. And it was twice. It was very clear that I don't think he got points on both. But I really liked that part of his game tonight. Yeah,
nice physicality there, hey? Like TR, he was, and we'll get to your point in a minute here, TR, but there's a physicality that Puljujarvi is bringing that I think is making a difference in his game. Is it just me, TR?
No, I love it. That's it. He's got to do that. He's never going to be this guy to go out and get 50 goals, and now he's starting to realize that. I don't know who's telling him. Maybe he's trying to pick up where Evander Kane is missing out. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's what he's got to do. I mean, he's a big guy. He gets around the ice. He looks like he got so much potential. I've said it before. I can totally see where he got drafted. If the first time I look at the ice, the first sports story shift every game, I really notice him. He comes out, guns a-blazing. It's just that he normally does a whole lot of nothing. But when he makes himself, a presence in front of the net, when he just finishes hits, he doesn't have to mow people over. He's very effective. And, if he's on his game, the Oilers can benefit all too much.
What stood out for you other than that, TR, tonight?
What stood out? Niemelainen, I thought he stepped up. He had, they got to be physical, and I mean, not many teams have a lot of it, so the guys that dish it out at all should be doing it on a game-to-game basis, and I'm glad to see him at least twice step up and make some real good hits. And I know I'm talking about the opposition here, but I know there's a lot of Newfoundlanders listening, and of course, I have to bring up Dawson the Dog Mercer. And Dawson the Dog Mercer, guys, Dawson the Dog Mercer. I say to kids in hockey schools and everything, you don't have to go out. Hitting isn't meant to go out and hurt the person. And going in the corners, the point isn't to come out of it after hurting the defenseman or whoever's in there with you. The point is to go in and make your body use it, make it a force, get between the puck and the net a lot of the times go in the corner, come out with it. It's how to shield it. It's how to get in the right positions and finish your hits and take hits. And Dawson does it well. He's not a guy that's ever going to go out and drop his gloves, but I like that he goes to the right positions. He's young. He's learning, but that I think he does real well. Take a hit to make a play and go into the right positions.
I love how you're always repping for the locals out there, TR. You fly the flag well, my friend.
Well, someone's got to do it, and you know what? There's a lot of Newfoundlanders out in Alberta. Fort McMurray is the second biggest city of Newfoundlanders in the world, as they say. So, we got to stick together. That's why we're who we are.
All right, good stuff. Next up for the Oilers, they've got the New York Islanders in a couple of days, and then on to the New York Rangers on the weekend is their 3-game road trip out to that coast. Is now 1 game in, and the Oilers' record now falls to 10-9. They're dangerously hovering around that 500 mark. Okay, that was a breakdown brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. We're going to move on here to our next segment. Before we do, though, just sort of around the league a little bit, did you guys see this Carolina-Winnipeg game? Did you see what happened in this thing? So, Jets come out, and they end up 1-2-0, 3-0, they're up, all the way through to the third period. So, four and change left in the game. Carolina pulls a tendy. Slavin gets one. Keep the tendy pulled at 16:52. Svechnikov gets his 13th of the year. Then at 19:21, Natchez ties the game to send it hurtling into overtime. 3 empty net goals they score, and then they lost in overtime. Like snap.
Crazy. Well, they got a point on the road. But that is pretty exciting. 3 goals against shorthanded or pulling the goal. That's amazing.
I like the idea that TR, where are you at on goaltender pulls? Like how early? If you were behind a bench, how aggressive would you be? When would you be yanking your guy?
I'd be aggressive. For years, I wondered why people. I think Patrick Waugh made it popular in recent days, didn't he? I wondered why people didn't do that more. I mean, you're a player, you're on the bench. Everybody knows it's like 8 minutes left. Usually if you're down by 2, definitely if you're down by 3, you're already counting you're already thinking about what you're going to do after the game. At least I was. I mean, I think I played as hard as anybody, but the writing's on the wall, except you know what? Maybe we can pull the goalie and get a power play.
Yeah. If
5-on-4s are so coveted, why not 6-on-5s? I've always wondered that. I'm glad that it worked out to the extreme tonight, but I say, why not? What's the difference in losing 2-3-0 or 4-0?
I always find it interesting when there's like 5-6 minutes left in a game and there's like a 2-goal lead or something like that. Like Jay Woodcroft had a chance on the power play to pull the goalie when they were down Struddy and go up on a 6-on-4 situation. Would you have done it? They talked about it on the broadcast. Would you have done it then?
Probably, yeah. If you're down by 2, if you're down by 1, I think I'm going to give my team a chance, especially with that much time left. Yeah. But yeah, I that offensive zone setup, you have your best players on the ice. You had your next best player on the ice. I like it. I like going for it when you're down by a couple. I think 1, I'm going to give my power play a chance.
Yeah. All right.
Down by a couple, I'd do it with 12, 13 minutes left, no problem.
Seriously? That long?
Definitely. I'd have to read the situation. I wouldn't do it every single time. But yeah, if I'm reading it many times, I would for sure do that. You're down by 2. Just think of what are the odds anyway you're getting 2 in that amount of time. You got 6-on-4. That's big. It's like a 5-on-3.
So just on a power play. So if there's 12 minutes left in the game and you're down 2 and you get a power play, you're going for it? That feels
not every
aggressive.
time, but a lot of the time I would, yes.
Yeah. Interesting. You're a riverboat gambler, TR. I don't know, Struddy.
He's risky.
Well, I know, but I'm just telling you what I'd do, and I would. And it would be. I'm saying if we had the power play, it's 6-on-4. I have a couple guys back here. Come on, unless you just turn around and slap it out of the zone, you shouldn't be getting any odd man rushes here. And if you score, whatever.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not making $5 million a year. My job's not on the line every night.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, there's just something about being able to shoot at that empty net, Struddy. That's always the part that makes you nervous, pulling the tender with the power play.
Yeah, well, especially when you have an empty, you have a penalty, so you can ice it down without any.
Yeah, exactly. Just free shots at it. Interesting. Well, I hope you get behind a bench someday and give that a go and see the looks as your players turn around and look at you and what the heck.
Again, 6-on-4. 6-on-4.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, guys, let's get to our takeaways segment, and this is brought to you by Sherwood Buick GMC. Of course, it's the massive dealership just off Baseline Road on the way into Sherwood Park. They've been the #1 GMC dealership in all of Canada for 5 years running, and they've got inventory. A lot of places are struggling with that right now, but they can actually get their hands on vehicles for you reasonably quickly. And they got one of the biggest inventories in the city of used vehicles as well. They're wide open for trades. They'll even just straight up buy your car if you're selling. Visit SherwoodBuickGMC.com. I've got the Sierra 1500, and I absolutely love it, the Elevation trim. You might not have noticed, but I actually, because I'm running things technically here, I completely screwed up that first segment I had for like the first 6 minutes. I had the Sherwood Buick GMC logo up during the DLR vinyl segment. And so that's stealing from basically my brothers. So I'm leaving I'm leaving their logo up for like an extra 30 seconds here before I now switch through, and there's Sherwood Buick GMC. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see all this fascinating video stuff that I've got going on here. Evan Bouchard. I will start, Struds, by letting you give me a synopsis on how you think Evan Bouchard has played this season, because he's an interesting player this year for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, he's a big part of what they're doing now and in the future, especially moving forward. I think the most obvious one we can talk about is his lack of goal scoring. He's a guy that has a big shot, and I think he gets a lot of confidence, and most players do. When you score, you get confidence out of it, and he hasn't scored yet. I think what's happened is I think that the league has understood, and they're being told now, hey, watch out for that guy number 2, used to be number 75. He's got a really big shot from the point, and he now, and they've adjusted to him, so they're either taking away or getting in his shot lanes. Those shots that were open last year are not open this year, and he's having a tough time getting it through. So I think the big challenge for him is to kind of readjust to the league and find a way to get a little fake shot and step to the side and ring it through, or the other way. And I mean, he can do it. He has the skills to do it, but I just don't think he has the mindset. I don't think he's realized what the league is doing to him just yet. And that's, I think a lot of his confidence comes out of that play.
What do you see in TR this season?
Well, I'll say this first. I watched him in junior, and I thought he was going to blow the doors off it when he came into the league. I really did. He was confident. He was a leader. He rushed it a little bit. He seemed to have a swagger, right? And I mean, he was a leader. I mean, he led his team in London by like 20 or 30 points. Like he was dominant. So I have, for me, I really liked him from day one, but he doesn't seem, I don't know what the word is. Ever see, you're in the playoffs, Struts, you're ready to, there's a face-off. Drew Doughty always seems into it. As soon as the face-off happens, like he's ready right off the bat. It's almost like he's not on his toes, or, if you're in baseball, you got to be in the ready position. Like, it's almost like he's just not quite into it. Like, he's not enjoying it, or there's too much pressure. I know he's trying to get that shot off. He got a lot of them, but I don't know. I made a note in the LA game. I mean, he got about 6 or 7 blocked, in the one game, like from the one area. So I don't know if he's trying too hard, if he's overthinking it, or if he's not thinking at all. But he doesn't look like the same player that I watched in junior. I know they often don't. Hey, points, they often tail off. Curtis Lazar is an example, right? He's not the same player. World Junior Team, I think captain, all this, not the same. But he plays the same. It's the same person skating around. The NHL has better players in it, so he's not dominating. But Bouchard doesn't look like the same player. And I don't know if that's alarming or it's just still learning.
Well, this is the thing for me on this is I wouldn't be concerned about the lack of offense if Evan Bouchard had come back this year ready to focus on taking the step that he needs to take as a National Hockey League defender, right, Struds? Like, if he was defending in a way this season that was clearly a significant step forward, you'd look at it and go, okay, listen, he's put the offense on hold a little bit. He's focusing on his own end. It's an important step for him to take. But, other than continuing to be physical, which I think he has done a decent job of following through from the playoffs where he was more physical, he's willing to get in there and finish some checks and shove some guys around a little bit. But I haven't found that he's defended all that well this year on top of troubles producing offensively. Is that fair, Struddy? You seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I think for him, the intensity that TR is talking about, not the intensity, but the look of intensity, the perception of intensity, and then the willingness to be physical. I don't think it comes natural to him. Some people it's just in them, right? Some hockey players, some people, whatever. You're ready for. He into a confrontation. I feel like as he's always like, excuse me, I have to hit you. I have to rub you up a little. I'm gonna have to give you a hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's not like not going in there and he's just gonna whack away at you until you submit. And so natural for him. And for those guys, I always felt bad for him because the coach like got to be hard in front of the net or be hard in the corner. And I don't think that's his natural. So he's gonna have to fake it till he has it natural. And I don't see him ever as a guy who just punishes people. But I think he's got to try to just fake it and fake it in practice, fake it in warm up, fake it in game. So it just becomes part of who he is. Because when you have that little bit extra zip and to your defending and that little edge, I think you're more into it, and those confrontations are more intense rather than kind of going there like, excuse me, just can I get by here? Like just hold my drink. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be a hard play in the corner. He hasn't quite got there yet. And I think that kind of affects the entirety of his defensive game. Well,
it's who he is, right? Like TR, you probably knew guys like that, like guys who had the potential to play strong, but were laid back people. Like Evan Bouchard, if you've ever met him, is as laid back a guy as you'll ever meet. And TR, sometimes that personality shines through on the ice, and playing the opposite of what your natural personality is can be tough for guys to do, even if they know they need to do it, which he does.
Totally. I know a lot of guys like that, but still, that's the job, and it's the game, and physics is part of it, and being in the right position and finishing your hit and just going to the front. I get it, what you're saying, but you've got to be a professional in that case. And at least there's a difference between going out there and starting things and initiating hits and being strong, as you said, being strong and having that, I know what Strut said too, sometimes you got to fake it. That's the saying, look good, feel good, play good, and the same parallel kind of way of thinking. You just turn the key and you just go out there. I mean, think about, they say playing guilty or whatever. Like I remember going into games and going, okay, there's a level here that I can bring myself to just by acting the role and acting and then all of a sudden, like George Costanza, if you lie to yourself enough, you believe the lie. Well, there's part of that. It's a professional thing. You just got to go out there and do it. You might not want to. It might not come natural, but it's going to have to for this 60 minutes if we want to be successful.
I'm going to present a thought, and you guys can let me know what you think about this. I think Evan, and I was chatting with somebody that, whose opinion I respect deeply, and they made this point. I thought about it a little bit, so I'm not going to steal it as my own. But Evan Bouchard might be suffering from Duncan Keith's departure here. Like, Evan Bouchard is still a young, learning defenseman, and Duncan Keith is basically like another coach out on the ice. And I've talked to a few people about this, the role that Keith played out there and the way he mentored in game and helped guys out in game. And Bouchard and Keith played quite a bit together through stretches last season. And no disrespect to Brett Kulak, it's not the same. And Duncan Keith's departure, Struddy, I think maybe has had a bit of an impact on Evan Bouchard. Fair?
100% it has. I mean, Duncan Keith, when you come off and there's a guy who's a Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup winner, thousands of games, and you come off and you're like, hey man, what do you think? This is what you should do. Okay, thank you, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And he's been through it 100 times, and not that Kulak hasn't. He's just not that level yet. Kulak is not that level. So I think it's a really good point. It's well made. And Keith was calm. Keith's calm. He's seen everything, right? So as a D partner, you're calmed down again. And I really appreciate when I was younger and I played with older partners because they were calm. And they would just kind of, come off, you make a mistake, like, hey, no problem, man. You know what to do next time. Or you make a really good play, like, hey, I love that read. Good job. And it really does calm you down and brings your confidence up, right? And so I think that's an important thing to recognize for people that are, they were critical of Duncan Keith. And I don't hear a lot of those comments anymore. He's on the team, so maybe that helps. But Bouchard, he's transitioning from that young guy that they're hoping can be a player to someone they need to be a player now. Like they need him now to be the guy he wants, because they don't have a lot of that hard-nosed defender. He can't just be off because Tyson Barrie's not that. Bouchard's not that. Kulak's pretty hard, but he's not super hard. CC's in the way. He's not super hard either. Darnell tries to be like, they don't have other guys they can lean on. They need everyone to contribute. Right now, Bouchard without Keith isn't finding that part of his game.
I agree. That's a good point. You know, Keith, there you go with, you know, the importance isn't always apples and oranges. It's not always statistics. It's not always on the ice. Sometimes having that guy around. I remember Brad Brown. I played with Brad Brown, who was a first-round pick and was kind of struggling early on. And Montreal put him up front, made him a right winger for a while, and it just destroyed his confidence. I mean, comically, we were roommates. And I remember he went up and he said, you know, he enjoyed playing with Patrice Brisebois. And Brisebois was kind of a guy like Bouchard. You know, by the time we got there, he was probably 26, 27. But he came in, he wasn't physical. But, you know, he told me, I remember, you know, telling stories about the playoffs. And he was with the Habs as a real young guy when they won the Cup in 93. And, you know, he learned from the veterans around him where to go. And he's probably the best example I can think of. And very similar too, around the same size, shot right. And he really wasn't naturally physical at all. But he went to the right areas and he played strong.
Who was the best veteran presence you played next to, Struddy?
You know, it's when I first heard JJ Daniel. And we were opposite, completely opposite. It wasn't for a super long time, but when I played with him, he just said, hey, man, like, we both know we do well, and you just do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and I'm going to support you as much as possible, right? And so I was really young, so you have to remember, I was very impressionable at that age, and there was probably a 10-year gap between the two of us, so it was huge. Like, and it just felt so good to be beside him, and like I said, I'd come off and whatever, things were getting a little crazy. Just calm down, man. Just make the play. I'll be there. And then when things got rough, I would come over and help him out. And I think he always appreciated that. So having that part together is really nice. So I think Bouchard is missing that. Not that Kulak isn't, but he's not Duncan Keith.
This isn't going to be a bold prediction, but I will make this prediction here. Evan Bouchard's partner in the playoffs does not play for the Edmonton Oilers yet. That is the piece that is yet to come. It's a piece they absolutely have to add this season. They can't go grab a number 5. The Oilers need to land a 3 or a 4 for this team to be ready to take the next step. I believe it. I think they know it. And that player, when he comes, I believe will be a left shot guy. And I believe he will play next to Evan Bouchard. We can get into that on another podcast. That was Takeaways, brought to you by Sherwood Buick GMC. All right, that's going to wrap up the pod. TR, you were saying before, you got what, Hudson and Rex you're on? You're on set? What do you got going on tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I do. 3 times this week. I play a member of the SWAT team on Hudson and Rex. Oh. So whenever that happens, it's an interesting. Yeah, it's kind of recurring, and I never have many lines. It might happen at some point, but I just got to go in there tomorrow, and it's basically stunts. You know, I got the fake gun and the fake outfit, and I'm Officer Terrence Young tomorrow. There you go.
Terrence Young. So you get all the cool gear, like all the guns and the like a helmet and stuff, or what do you get?
Oh God, yeah, it's great. I really enjoy it. I've done it and I can keep going in because my face is burned on the show, but when you're with SWAT, you get a mask. So anytime that happens, I get the call. They're all my friends, right? I'm on crew a lot of the time. So, But I enjoy tomorrow. And we got Dean McDermott in, who's an accomplished Canadian actor. He's married to Tori Spelling. He'll be playing one of the bad guys tomorrow. And we already had a good conversation today, and we're going out for breakfast before work tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it.
Struds, any of your time out in New York there, you get anywhere close to a movie set or a commercial set, or you got anything, any credentials?
Lots of offers. I don't really want to get, I don't want, because other people, I pass the roles to other people, and I don't want those people to feel bad, but let's just say Brad Pitt should be thanking me.
Yeah, move over. Well, hey, when your media career is done, maybe a third chapter for Struddy.
Oh, yeah.
TR can hook you up, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good stuff, guys.
Hey, he's got the look.
He does.
Not for Superman anymore. He'd be more of like a middle-aged farmer kind of tough guy type, but it's out there.
Yeah, I think
gotta start somewhere.
I could totally see that. Like working out in a field, sees something going on, plants the shovel, takes a look, and then goes over and handles some business.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, he can say a lot. Strud says a lot without saying it, and his character, very strong character. We'd be a man of little words, but they'd mean a lot. Kind of like Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or Fistful of Dollars.
That's awesome. All right, boys, good stuff. It's late at night. Let's all just wrap this up and head to bed. Appreciate this, guys. We'll chat. Maybe we'll chat again after the game on Long Island in a couple of days. TR, have a good day tomorrow. Struddy? Sweet dreams, Bob.
See you guys.
All right.
Sweet dreams, guys. Well, like Patsy Cline said, I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, sounds good. This was Got Your Back, YEG. Big thanks to our sponsors, of course, Mr. Dirk, DLR Vinyl Products, Sherwood Buick GMC, and, of course, our good friends over at Weiss Johnson. Talk to you soon, folks. Have yourselves a fantastic couple of days until we meet again on Thursday.